Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to rewatch and talk about Snip3down's Halo 5 montage. Obviously I was the editor and the video just passed 200,000 views, which is crazy. That's my most viewed montage. And I just want to do like a director's editor's commentary as I go through, talk about things. A heads up, probably watched this montage before because during this I'm not going to play any of the audio from it just to avoid copyright reasoning. So it's just going to literally be me talking over a video with no audio. So I would say if you really want to get the notes, a lot of these notes might be on the syncing or on music. Just enhances things, right? It's going to be weird to listen to it without that. I'm listening to it, but you won't be able to listen to it. All right, so first of all, I'm on the YouTube page just to show it actually got 200,000 views, which is awesome. So I have a new YouTube channel, which obviously isn't linked in any of this stuff because it was this new channel. I wanted no copyright things. I want to start fresh, but let's read a comment. So I'm not actually going to watch it on YouTube here because I don't like the playback features of it. All right, so I'm going to use Premiere instead of YouTube just because it's easier to control, to go backwards and forwards and stuff like that. We got an outline, but whatever. So for these, they obviously don't look that good. It's supposed to be like a snowy scene. I like the metal, like the gold looks cool just with the 3 sponsors of the tag or of the montage. I'm not sure why I went for the snowy thing. I remember another montage back in the day doing really cool rain effects. I wanted to do something like that. The intro for this video was the last thing I did. I have a bad habit of doing the intro last, so usually it's at the point when I want to get the montage out because the montage is looking good. So I would say that the intro is the weakest part of this video. I hit my mic. I got these nice clips here from Muggsy or Lalo. He obviously goes to all the Halo tournaments and got some nice footage. I think that was before he even started working for 343 or right when he started. Gold text turning. The only thing I really like about it is I changed the depth of field where I'm focusing on here to then focusing on the background. And you see this is now out of focus. I like to do that a lot. Usually requires a lot of roto, but obviously this is just a little roto there. And this intro I would say is like a cop-out intro where I didn't put a ton into it. Just show some nice footage of him, play some clips. This one, the snow is supposed to go away when he hits the snipe and it goes back into color. One thing I will say, on YouTube especially, the codec that YouTube uses is the H.264, which compresses the blacks and whites in your videos, which is why YouTube videos look worse when you upload them, because it wants to make the file size smaller for YouTube. Is that I overdid the color correction on this, where I actually did like a second pass of color correction, where I took it into my work studio when I worked at Airbud Entertainment, the guys who made all those Airbud movies. I actually used their fancy color suite and did the actual coloring in Resolve, DaVinci Resolve, but this was after I already did kind of a light pass before, so I shouldn't have done this because it did 2 kind of color passes together, and what it did is crush the blacks, which is the term where I brought the blacks down too much. You can probably see here that the blacks are just super dark, and it's darker than it should be. And with that already, then going onto YouTube, it just got so dark. Like it just looks like it's what's the word? It's compressed. No, the contrast is way too much. The brights are too bright, the darks are too dark, and in between is like a mixed color. It's my least favorite thing about this video by far. I find it hard to watch on YouTube because of that, and I think that really hurt it. I actually didn't see that many comments about it on the YouTube video, which is kind of impressive. I guess people don't care about that, but I really dislike the color correction in this video, and you'll see my montages after this have a lot cleaner, nicer, colorful look. And now we're getting into the first clip. Oh. That was lethal, so he's fighting, I believe. There's Frosty there. Wink, wink. Kill tack. Motion tile effect will be right there. So another issue I would say I cut too much in this montage. A lot of people praise that I let the gameplay shine in this because compared to a lot of montages where people are overcutting, this one might cut less. That's mainly because when I'm editing for a pro player like Snip3down, you want to see his footage. You don't want me cutting and distracting you the whole time. But I would say I still probably did a little bit too much. Also, look how terrible. You can't see my hand. I used the mouse. That makes sense. Look how terrible the darks look here. Like that's just way too contrasty. It's too dark down there. I should have faded the blacks a little more. A lot of these clips are on pro players, like this one here. Helltown Mickwin, and he's about to snipe the... Try not to swear. Rain. It's just tracking there, playing with some kind of multiply effect. I love this transition. So the reason I want to do this in Premiere, what is it? Because J I can reverse. Yeah, there we go. Play like that. Yeah. So not this transition, but this. I used the light as a transition to the nade exploding. I don't know if a lot of people pick that up, but I love stuff like that. So there's like a lens flare added on top on this. And it's in the same similar area. I have a tutorial on cutting on action, and I also have a tutorial on leading the eye. Those can be, I'm not going to link them in the description because I'm probably going to talk about too many tutorials. But the leading the eye video I made a long time ago and is very important. In this one, I'm leading your eye. All right, watch my mouse. We're going to go through this. So obviously you're in the center because that's where the reticule is. And then you're kind of reading over here like, oh, what's this? It goes a little off screen. So you're still looking in this direction somewhat, right? And you're like, oh, okay, that light is clearly the most prevalent thing. Catches the eye on screen. So you look at that and then I can go frame by frame. So it's a little too bright. I don't know why I'm blowing it up this much. That's a bit much. But then it brings you from here to here. And then it kind of brings you back into his perspective. But he uses that transition of the light. I don't know. I thought it was super nice. Coming up as one of my least favorite angles of the whole montage. What is this? This is trash. I don't know what this angle is. I overdid the twitch effect here too. See, I just had like the twitch is the RGB split. So this is cool. It transitions to him putting in the flag, right? The victory. To the same font victory text 3D tracked on the next map. I got this font from Unijek, who works at 343, so that is the actual font. Obviously transitions look better fast, but I don't know, I thought it was a cool idea. And here's another issue I have with the montage is I'm overdue. This is a nice looking shot for some reason. This looks really good right there on my screen. I overdo flares. I don't know why. I always like the flares that Snip3down or Logan always did, and I think I overdo. I know I overdo way too much in this video. So I like this transition fine, and then the flare way too much. Like, what is that? It's terrible. Flare again, way too much. Just subtly turned down. I am using flares in my new video, but it's not like that. I'll tell you, I'll never use flares like that again. Yeah, man, the color correction is just not good. Does look good on this map though. I will give it that. Plaza always look good. I like these transitions here. So this is an example I did for leading the eye again. You're looking in the center, the reticule, which is somewhat close to this guy, and then you're following this, and he's moving that direction. So it's moving the same direction, cutting on action. And then I actually have him go forward and then come back, which kind of does like a snap effect back to there. Very subtle. Well, he goes forward, but the camera snaps back. I mean, snap. I don't know. I liked it. Too many flares. Crazy. That was just me tracking what is that part over. I don't know if it looks good, but it doesn't look bad, I guess. I added those last into the montage, like some of his looks. I don't think they add to it. I don't think they help it. That's a cool angle. This one I was inspired by a Halo Reach montage. They did a really cool wipe transition with the scope and then coming in. It doesn't look as good on Halo 5 because you got this weird shape of the scope, but whatever. Are these on pros? No, it's a mix. So this section here is, so this montage took like a year to make. Obviously they shouldn't, but with the lack of motivation and how much time you actually put into these, people would be surprised. And you know, obviously you're working full time. This one did take me a year. Same with the one I'm currently working on. But this section from the next like 20 seconds was done, I swear, within the first week, and it never changed. I was just like, I like that, and it hasn't changed. It's just been like that. So everything else got tons of tweaks, took a year, took months, and this thing, nope, just all stayed the same. Like not just this, I mean the clips after this as well. That's a cartoon effect. This all, which is using like the light transition or the gradient transition right there in After Effects, and also using, I forget what I was about to say, Twitch effect, I guess. Yeah, there's a light transition, looks good. Slow motion, snipe, looks awesome. So this is a transition cutting on action here, where there's this kind of door frame, or at least there's this rectangular opening here. And I use that to cut to another rectangular opening here. Now I literally am cropping and scaling this to force it to fit. Oh, also, I didn't notice it again. I masked the next shot I masked in the gun here, scatter shot. So not only do I have this similar rectangle looking thing in the same area, but the actual gun cuts in too, just to make the transition smoother. And you can thank CJ New for this. It's very subtle to notice, but this is all out of focus in the background. Didn't notice at all. I don't know why I did Spartan Fire thing here. I think Spartan's Montage came out, and that's what inspired me for some Halo 5 ones. But it doesn't look good. I don't know why I did that. All right, this is where I overdo a camera focus. This transition right here, I just hit the mic. Camera focus plus the light transition. I don't think it looks that good, but you live and you learn. This is a nice shot. It's dirty. Obviously, I have to recreate all these angles in Halo 5, so I did the best I could. Nice thing about being friends with some of the people at 343, they actually gave me a lot of the armors to help with that. So thanks, guys. You guys are amazing. I love this angle here. Very subtle to notice, but it starts out with everything in focus. And I actually did a depth of field on this. I don't know why. It's just so much roto, but you can see now he's in focus and the background's out of focus. Very subtle. But that one must have been like 2 hours of roto just for something you probably don't even notice. I do it again here coming up right. Oh, do I? So it's all in focus. Oh no, I must not have. I thought I did there too. So I think this is the only use of pin warping I use in the montage. Obviously pin warping is one of my most popular. Here's pin warping here, where you take these two still images and make it look like they're moving so you can make super slow motion. It's one of my most viewed tutorials, and I've used it the most in a lot of my videos, and it's probably my favorite effect. I don't think this is the best example of it here, but the transition is either, again, the gradient or the light transition in After Effects into the pin warp, I think is kind of cool. It's a bit much. Obviously, that's synced to the beat and everything very nicely, so just watching without that, you're not going to notice. Oh, here's something I really like. So this kill tack transition that's about to happen. He's going to kill this guy for the kill tack. Then the metal pops up and transitions there. I actually have a YouTube video where I give away this for free. So if you want this or other 3D metals, it's on my channel. I never used it again, but I thought that was such a nice idea. Probably got that from somewhere else, but I can't remember. So here is a very nice depth of field or rack focus. I love this shot. It looks awesome besides the color correction. Here's something the power of DaVinci Resolve. So actually this shot here has orange leaves, but using DaVinci Resolve you can isolate, which is a color correction program, which is what a lot of big movie studios do, and this is what I used for the tweaking of this. You can isolate that orange color and then just play with that. So I did like a spring to fall transition here. What's nice is the sound mixer I hired, which is my friend Cam Boyer, who did the sound mixing for this and for my next one. Added in some ambience of like some birds and stuff. I don't know. I thought it adds to it. I think this is where they win the gold medal. Yeah, X Games. I like these shots. I just realized I'm playing this at half quality. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you'll notice a big difference from that, but now it's at full quality. He kills Frosty. Wink, wink. The trailer will probably be out before this. So I used this song, which is from a Walshy montage back in the day, I believe, or it's a Halo 2 one. I believe it was Walshy's. I remember Sims saying, be careful using, obviously, a song from a famous montage, but I did it personally as a shout out to that montage. I love this part here. I very subtly put their names above them. Some people I got feedbacks from said they couldn't really see it, but I kind of like that it was subtle. You don't need to see it. I do cut away too soon before the kill tack medal, I think, shows up, but he does kill tack this guy. Yeah, I cut a little too soon. He gets a perfect kill tack there. I don't know why I cut that fast, because then you can't see the medals. The song's probably my favorite or second favorite part of the montage. I just use that as a cop-out transition. I like this. So the song talks about domination, and they're playing Strongholds, which is basically domination in Call of Duty, right? Same idea. Capture the flag, but there's 3 of them. And I just, as he says domination, I reveal that they've captured those 2, and then I reveal they've captured all 3 because they're red, and then transitions. It's subtle, but I like it. There's some fast cutting coming up here that I really like. So I'm not a huge fan of the text I have tracked here, which will say get juked, and then switch to one more. I'll play it back. But I do like the cutting on action I do here. So one thing that really helps sell it, this is just using the basic 3D camera tracker in After Effects. But I find what sells it is literally just duplicating the text, turning it sideways, adding a fill effect to turn it black, then adding a fast blur and putting it on the ground to fake a shadow. And just adding that makes it look like it fits in there more. I don't know. So I love this transition. It looks like nothing, right? But he just does a little whip sideways and he's going that direction already. I don't know. It looks cool. Whatever. This is the only time I play with the audio is to that slow motion. Cam did a great job doing what I was looking for there. Also, this is a beautiful transition here. So check this out. So he has this pillar right in front of him and he's about to go right. So he's going left, but he's about to go right. So the pillar is right here. And it cuts to a pillar going the same direction right here. Might be subtle to some people, but I find that super smooth. I remember he was saying like he wasn't 100% on this clip, it's just a triple. But I already did this transition and I'm like, man, I don't know, that looks good. It is just a triple and the rest of his montage is pretty crazy. So I see what he's saying. This looks a lot better when it's not on YouTube. I like doing this where as someone picks up a sniper or reloads a sniper, I kind of scale to it for a second. One thing I'll notice is I added motion blur to all this. And a lot of these, well, all of these are Xbox DVR clips, which is like 720p, 30 FPS, because Xbox One DVR is terrible. And we had better footage back in the day when we could capture it ourselves. So I did a lot of things to kind of help with that, which is maybe why the color correction is over the top, but also the motion blur is supposed to help hide from that. My newest montage, coming out July 10th, which is probably already out by the time this comes out, is I don't use the motion blur, and I think it looks cleaner. I just add some noise to it to help it. It's a really nice clip here, though. Ooh, these transitions are really good. So I love, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole montage. Same game, and then quickly transitions there. So using the light transition again, so same game comes in first. Then it zooms out, and as it zooms out, obviously I'm recreating this angle, but it looks pretty much like it's there. Zoom out. And then this transition here, I'm sure a lot of people love, is a shout out directly to, or paying homage directly to Muggsy's transition in the Avengers montage. He does the same thing, but with a health pack in Halo Reach. So that's what I was mimicking there, or was inspired by. Now, this part you should really listen to the audio. So if you're watching, just remember this part if you're watching it again with the audio on its own. I love the speed of the song and the cutting here. I find it all flows. Probably the best flow part of the whole video. Just, I was going to let it play, but so it cuts to a guy in the middle and he's walking up that direction. And then it cuts to the character cutting up that direction. And as he turns right, I can use that action as a jump cut on the beat, where it looks like I did a slight fade, to him turning right. And I won't say what it says, but it says, you better watch your neck, and then this guy's body falls with a nice body sound effect. I don't know. That whole section, let's play it back. It's my favorite. Okay, let me play it back double speed. Without audio, I might not carry it, but it really flows together nicely with audio. So it says burn it upside some fire here. I overdo the lens flare here way too much. Again, kind of ruins this whole section, but I got a nice 3D metal tracked on the ground right there. And let's not talk about the spelling on that. That's embarrassing. So he's destroying Ninja before Ninja is who he is now. And he destroys Ninja again right here, I believe. Oh, I thought it was 2 clips back to back. Maybe it's a different one. And this was Cam's idea to have the overkill audio echo after he gets his ground and pound, and I think it's really nice. So in between each song, I did a transition showing them winning a tournament with a 3D, or sorry, not 3D, like the tournament logo tracked with the crazy depth of field each time. I like it. It's a nice in between for each one. Excuse me. I can breathe. Already on song 3. So song 3 is a different pacing where I use a lot more tournament footage. It's less intense than the last 2 songs. I find it's really nice to switch up the pacing. I find it really nice to switch up the pacing in different songs so it keeps it interesting. This pacing here isn't switched up that much, but subtly. So I just tracked. I got this idea again from the Avengers montage by Muggsy and CJ, where the credits are kind of within the last song. Obviously, the contrast is too crazy, and you can't read his last name, Rona, that well here until it fades. But people know who Eric is. This transition coming up here is a little weird. Just because when I'm recreating angles, I get to pick out my own armor, right? I'm staging it. I'm acting it out. So it's supposed to be this guy jumps. He sees a guy here, so I had a flare, which is a little too obvious. He sees a guy with no shields when he just got this triple, right? And he's like, oh, this guy's going behind the bus. Or van, my bad. And it's supposed to show that the guy actually jumps one more time after he goes past the van. So I cut to the showing him there and him taking the shot. But it's really hard to see what's actually going on here. And like, I just like wearing the funny armor when I'm doing this. So I have a tutorial on this transition right here, which is just a wipe transition where I use RGB. It's on my channel. Depth of field looks amazing. Light transition there. I do the same thing, but for me. This is still the same Twitter and my old YouTube channel. And I really play with the depth of field here, where it's focused on the guy in the background with the flare, everything else out of focus. Then it focuses to my name in the middle. I remember trying to put the shadow down underneath this, but sometimes it just doesn't look good. Oh, the Riley Hastings text is closer to us than all the other texts, like the big name. You can see it moves, it has some parallax independently. Then it focuses back to the guy there, and it cuts to the tournament footage. And this is synced really nicely on the beat. I like this part. They're just like single clips, but when you're using tournament footage, I don't know, it's a higher quality, right? Oh yeah, here's where he embarrasses Ninja again. Gross. Shoot the body, yeah. So this footage is even lower quality because it's streamed and it's from Halo 5, so... Or, sorry, not... Halo 5 isn't the problem, but it's just stream quality, which is really low. Luckily, the newer footage from tournaments is a lot higher quality. So I do a transition from here into tournament footage, or just have like the overlay warp in. I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I really hate the track text that's about to show up here. The idea is fine, but I should have put more into it. Where he says, oh, he finds the overkill, or the killing frenzy. I actually like this, there's a crazy flare coming up right here and right here, but I like this shot. That looks nice. Then way too much flare again. Stop that. People who make Halo montages or montages, just tone down the flare. You can play with the opacity or just use it on transitions. Oh, this is a nice grenade throw on Frosty he gets here. Frosty. I like that. And I don't like that. That's weird. But I like that a lot, showing only Lethal's left alive. And then where he is, bam. This is again on Frosty and Lethal. So he kills Frosty, gets perfect. I really like this angle I captured. And it slow downs to the song. He gets the overkill on Lethal. Wow, we're at the very end here, eh? I wish I would have saved maybe a higher quality clip for the end, because we're getting near the end here. This is cool. He gets 2 triples back to back. So that should have been the over, right? But the guy hid like a we won't say, so we don't get in trouble on YouTube. Like this is the last clip of the montage when really it's just on some randoms. I probably should have had one on pros. Oh no, there's Trippy. Never mind. Actually, I met Trippy at DreamHack recently. Oh, that was not the last clip. See, it shows what I know. But I met Trippy at DreamHack. Good guy. Okay, so it is unnated. Straight sick. Who's he kill again? Kratos. Nemesis. Then he gets a kill tag technically, but it's after the win. I don't know who that's on. I think you said nated. So yeah, that's Snip3down's Halo 5 montage. 200,000 views. So thank you everyone who's watched and has given feedback. This was in 2017. It was the first pro montage I did by myself. And I use this as a finisher here because it's like the last big tournament they win. It's on Hook's perspective at the end, but Snip3down's on the team. How crazy that Hook just showed up from Call of Duty, wins these tournaments, goes back to Call of Duty. So yeah, I think this footage is all from Lalo, like Muggsy again, very nice. Now I did the credits a more traditional credit style here. And then it switched to some cuts at the end. So the only reason I put myself as a sound designer is because I hired a sound mixer. I didn't want people to think he did all the sound. Mixing is literally just making the levels nice. I asked him to add some ambiance in between sections, but other than that, I personally am the one that placed all the audio and picked out the sound effects and stuff like that. So event footage, I got some from Snip3down, so Logan Doxson as well. I don't know why it says Monster Gaming. Maybe they give me some. Huge shout out to Bullet Rebel. He's obviously blown up in Fortnite with his crazy edits. His edits are amazing. All right, I had to redo the ending here because my camera cut out. I'm not sure why. I'm only filming at 1080p, and it was at the 26-minute mark, but it ended up cutting out. So I just want to wind this up by saying, if you stuck around to the end, thank you very much. If you're interested in me making more of these, I can go into either some of my older montages or my newest one that should be coming out July 10th. I really appreciate you guys, and I had a lot of fun actually going into this. I know it's kind of a boring video, and listening back to it, I am hearing my breathing a lot in the mic. So for future videos, I will back the mic up a bit. But thanks a lot for listening, guys, and it was actually a lot of fun to go back and look at this video and remember a lot of the little things I did and what certain moments meant to me. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch you all next week. Thanks.